Fighters BOTCG here, and this time I had an idea for which is funny because this was round one, and it was my Leonhorn pure deck list. So this was just like pure Leonhorn, no mask engine, versus the Leonhorn deck list with the mask engine, and I just thought it was funny that it was the only video I was able to record that day, but it was really good match in my opinion, and I wanted to build Pure. I couldn't tell you if Pure was better than Mask, or if the way I built it was necessarily the right way. There's like a four of slot that can literally be anything in my personal opinion, but I really liked at the time. I really liked the card that I put in there. So it looks like I'm going first here, and somebody kicked the camera. But we're going to discard the cycle card here, produce a plant token, put it on the bottom, and draw a card. I really like the cycle card in this list just because it just felt like I could play it and not really get too punished. He's going to discard a draw trigger here. Produce 2 plant tokens from calling out the Rosarium Fairy. And he's going to swing at me for 13. I believe we just take it here. Yeah, we just take it here. He's going for 13 again. We take it. Go to 2. Pitch another cycle card here. We're going to trigger that first, drawing a card, and then we're going to sack a card, create 2 plant tokens. Call out a Rosarium Fairy of our own, make 2 plant tokens. And then this was like a misplay on my part, because I should have kept him in the front row, because I wouldn't be able to proc his ability next turn. Which is fine, like, it's fine. He's a 15k beater on turn 2. That's completely fine for me not to be able to proc his skill. A slight soul confliction, but I found that more often than not, before turn 4, I can only resolve one of the promo dragon regardless. So, you know, I was willing to take that slight confliction for like the boost in like draw consistency with the cycle cards. So he's gonna swing for 15 here. And we are gonna take it. We get a defensive draw here, which is very nice for us. Swing for 15 again, we take it. And then he's gonna swing at a plant token here and just pass his turn. Pitch the heal trigger here. I'm going to activate our Leonhorn's effect, draw a card, and then call a card. And then you can consider this another misplay as well, because I still could have moved it to the front row and had that extra interceptor. But this does give my Vanguard a slightly bigger boost, which he just no guards it here. We don't get anything. And we're going to swing 13 at his rear guard. And since he blocked it, I believe I swing at the rear guard again, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I swing at the rear guard again, just only because he blocked it. Which, looking at his hand, I can see why. His hand doesn't look that sexy in terms of unit cards. So he's going to draw a card here and call a card. He's going to call Leonhorn Mask here. I guess he was assuming that he was going to be able to call... He was going to be able to draw into something else, ideally to call, but that was the only thing he had there. Which I don't think having 3 perfect guards in this position is necessarily bad, but it just limits the things that he's able to do offensively. Gonna call over it to produce a plant token. Then he's gonna swing at our Vanguard here. Pitch a perfect guard. We just take the Vanguard hit here because we were at 2. But, you know, he puts us to 5 off of a really insane drive check. But, you know, that's just the game. Really nothing else to say there. And then his rear guards are massive here, so we do, I believe we do have to burn a PG here and burn the overtrigger that we have in our hand. But definitely in a spot that we didn't want to be in. Felt like we were so far ahead that we were able to afford to take the Vanguard swing, and ideally I was trying to save those cards for later. But it's Gucci. It is what it is. So now we're able to proc it. So I guess it was fine. Not necessarily too big of a misplay keeping it back there for so long. So this is 13 plus 15, 28. He guards for 38 here. Swings here. He takes it. Swing. And I believe we were supposed to act. The counterblast is after the battle, which was my mistake here. This was like my first time playing this deck in tournament. So that was my mistake for paying for the counterblast before. It was the end of battle is counterblast, but I did everything else correct. So we're going to give all effects to Vanguard here. And then we're going to restand the front row here. And I was telling him I already paid the CB. I paid it ahead of time on accident. And swing with the rear guard first here. I think I was just trying to like... Yeah, I was trying to like guarantee a lethal damage swing here. Then we swing again, and he does get a defensive overtrigger here, so it goes back to his turn. He normal rides into LIANORN Mask just because he doesn't have access to Mask here. And he's going to top 7 search off of Mythiarch. Which arguably I could be playing Mythiarch in my deck list as like that random 4-of slot, but I really like the card that I have in there right now. And that's actually what saves our bacon here. Guards of a 15k shield there. It was like, what, 8 plus 15, 23? Yeah, okay. Then I blocked the Vanguard swing for 58 here, which I believe was 2 to pass. And that card, if I'm in the Unison Dress state, it gets an extra 10k shield and 10k power, which if I didn't have that card in my hand, like my bacon literally would have been cooked, because I had to use my perfect guards in the early. But we're going to swing for 33 here, or no, 38, and he takes it. And I was telling him how I was like, man, like my goose was cooked. But yeah, I feel like this match was like an important match to go over just because like, you know, at the end of the day, you can only do so much with like the cards that you were given. Like, you know, at the end of like it's a trading card game. There is always going to be that chance or like that luck element, whether it is the triggers or the cards you draw or the cards your opponent draws or they see at the exact same time they needed it to see it, or you don't see it the exact time you needed to see it. It's just, you know, it's just the chance element of the game, and you can really control the factors that you know, control the factors of what you already have and what you can possibly get to. Which I actually had like one of those existential moments where I'm like, damn, bro, like I really hate the overtrigger. This is such a swinging format. I didn't have perfect guards, but you know, like, hey, you know, at the end of the day, you didn't have them. You didn't have them. You can only play, you know, to the best of your ability with what the cards you have. Sorry about that little rant, but we're getting on into game 2 here. I do believe he decides to go first. But like these last two games are literally like the games of like, man, like it goes down exactly how the first game goes down, where like I feel like I'm in a really good position and then get completely blown out the water. Just gonna pitch a draw trigger here, produce a token, and pass turn. I'm gonna pitch a cycle card here, draw for going second, produce a token, draw again. I come in a rear guard here because I feel like I can't get too punished for committing it. And this is just one of those matchups where I have to try and get him to high damage early. Draws for turn here. Pitches Habitat, grabs it back. Just gonna make a marker here and search the mask. Noted, because he plays LIANORN Mask, he put the marker in the back row for Rosarium Fairy buffs, and I'm like, man, that's just like, that was really cool. That was like really cool play that I haven't seen before. I mean, I don't play this deck too much, or this variant of the deck too much, but I thought it was a very interesting play on his part. So he's gonna call a Rosarium Fairy off of the Habitat here. Produce 2 plant tokens. Just gonna swing for 13 here. We block it, and he swings for 15, we take it. And we block that for 33, which I believe it was like 30 or something. Or 25. We draw again off of the cycle card. Deciding where I want to put that last plant token here. This time I decided to put him in the front row because I know I can't proc his skill, and I just like basically I turn him into bait, into shark food. Swing for 10 here, he takes it. Then we're gonna swing for 13 here, and then we swing for 20. He takes it, goes to 5 here. So again, like I said, I felt like we were really in a really good position this game. You know, we put him to 5 on turn 2, low cards in hand, but yeah, we just get blown out. Either on this turn or the following turn, we just get blown out. Go into mask here. It's going to use its effect to call a rear guard and then pop one of my rear guards. Swing that's for 10 here. We guard for 15. Swing that's for 13 here. We guard for 15, because I know we're not going to be able to guard his restood attacks, because they're going to be way stronger. And we just take the Vanguard here. And then I was noting how it was interesting that the boost effect doesn't cost a CB. It's only the restand effect that costs a CB, which I thought was interesting. But he chooses to only restand a column here, so we can get that draw off. And then he's going to swing at us again here, which we do just take that swing. And we move on to our turn here. Pitch Vivace. Ride up. CB1 here for her skill. Draw a card. Call a card. Call Diantha. And then we're going to activate Diantha's skill. Resurrect the card from the drop zone. And then, you know, I think we just leave our board like this. I don't think we have much else that we could afford to overextend with. And then I was telling him why I was keeping it in the front row rather than the back row. Gonna perfect guard our Vanguard here. We get a draw trigger here. We're gonna give power to the front row plant token. Second check, nothing. Third check is a critical trigger. And then I decided to just give everything to the plant token. Because with a boost, it's 15 by itself, turns it into 35. And then this is a 20k column, which he ultimately had to use the perfect guard anyway. Then we're going to sack the grade 1 at the end of turn and draw a card. He's just going to call over his cards for better rear guards here. Swings at us for 15. We opt to just intercept away our dragon. And then swings at us, I believe, for, what, 8 plus 20, 28? And we just block that, 33. Just gonna triple boost the Vanguard here. She's big. We either perfect guard it or no guard it. I no guarded the Vanguard here. Gets a heal trigger. Gives power to the dragon. CB1 here. He's choosing what he wants to restand. Choose to restood the column instead of, so he could get the draw off of both dragons instead of just trying to go for the 5 attack swing. And then he swings at us again here, and we just take it. And then he draws 1 at the end of turn. Go into VIVACE, draw 1. Call a dragon here. And we swing for 20 here at his Vanguard. Swung for 26, I believe. And we did the skill the right way this time. Drawing a card. He opts to no guard our Vanguard swing here. And then I believe this is the turn where we get blown out. I give power to the Vanguard. So my theory is, just because the Vanguard's usually the weakest attack, is that I generally almost always give power to the Vanguard swing. Oh, no, I think he survives this turn. I think we just get blown out next turn. Which he 2 passes it here, which we only get 1 check. So we're going to give everything to the dragon here. This is going to be 35 to crit. And then this was 26 by itself. So he just intercepted. And what he drew was something that he can't call. So, yeah. This is just a swing and pray type of moment. Because he even told me what he drew, he couldn't call it. So... he just decides to move the dragon up. It doesn't have power anymore. So he's just going to swing at my rear guard. Then he's going to swing at my Vanguard for 13. We perfect guard it here. He gets the over trigger, which, you know, we only had 1 perfect guard, and this is what I was talking about, to where it's like, it literally only takes like 1 card. And even though it's like the most unfair card in standard right now, it was just literally that 1 card that won him the game here. But going on into game 3 here, we do decide to go first. Again, we didn't have an extra perfect guard. You know, we did the best we could with the cards that we were given. Out of our control. We couldn't do anything about it. So like that's just like that's kind of like my mantra to try and keep myself like from like, you know, going up the wall about the over trigger, even though it's just such an unfair card. But you know, if you want to play generally, or like just like speaking from a competitive standpoint, it's just something that you're just gonna have to deal with until the gaming company that produces Vanguard decides to deal with it, or it just becomes irrelevant at one point. And to be fair, his deck has an advantage over my deck. Is just like he generally gets to look at more cards because he has more like searching and more top calls, versus I just have like more random draws than he has. Where he gets to like actually deck thin, I'm just randomly drawing cards from my deck, so that gives him like a slight advantage in terms of just like seeing triggers. Swing us for 13 here. Yeah, that's a 5k, brother. That's a 5k. Guard with 15, and then we take this. He gets a critical trigger here. We go to 2. Discard the draw here. Debating where I want to put that, so we just make a column with it. Then we call out that grade 1. I figured I couldn't get too punished by it. So we're going to swing 8 at the Van here. Gets a defensive, and then we're going to swing at the Vanguard again. He just takes it, we don't get anything, and we're going to swing at the rear guard and pass turn. Grabs back an order card here. Calls out the dragon, just swings. We take it, get a defensive, and then this is 33, so we're able to guard for 15 for 35. Oh no, we don't have a 15, so we're just gonna have to, yeah, we're just gonna have to like pay full cost on that grade 1 as a 20k shield. Activate our Vanguard skill here, drawing a card. I do believe we were getting close to time, if I'm not mistaken, but that isn't really a factor. So I swing here with triple drive, get 2 Vivaces and a Rosario Fairy. Swing for 10 at the rear guard here. He guards it, so I just decide to try and bully the rear guard here, but he guards it again, and then we're going to draw a card. We'll sack a card, draw a card. Activate the mask here. Then he's just gonna go straight into it. Give 10k to the front row for Persona Ride. Gets 5k since he's on LIANORN Mask. Retires my Diantha. Just calls. He doesn't have anything good to call, so he just calls a trigger here. 23, we guard for 15. Then he's gonna multi-boost here. We perfect guard that. CB1. Gonna restand those 2 rear guards. He's gonna draw a card. Swing for 23 again. first hit, and then I guard with the over trigger on the second hit. We go into Vsauce LIANORN here, produce a token, and I just swing for 10 at the rear guard here. It can't hit anything else. Swing at the Vanguard here. Again, we don't get anything, and then he gets the over trigger, and that's... Oh yeah, we did get into time here. That was the blowout. Whereas I believe this was my... No, this wasn't the last turn. It was either my first turn or the second turn, because time is each player gets 2 turns. But yeah, him just like damage checking that just made it so I had no way of winning in time. Another annoying hindrance about the over trigger, but you know, at the end of the day, there was nothing I could do with it, the cards that I currently had. But anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Oh, we're really close to that 1K mark. We're going to be doing a very huge playmat giveaway to our dear, beloved, and loyal subscribers. So go ahead and sub for that. And if you don't know what playmat we're giving away, go ahead and click on that channel link, and it is going to be our channel banner. But anyways, guys, you have a